Friday. This is the Sports Huddle on SEMO ESPN Radio. The specifics are 1220 on the AM dial, 93.5 on the FM side, and we're online at SEMOESPN.com. Eric Shawn, hey, look who's here, the lead singer of the Mike Rennick Band, Diamond Eyes, in studio as we get ready to go here. And we are broadcasting this morning from the Yuengling Sports Huddle Studios. Yuengling is the iconic American lager, America's oldest brewery, Yuengling. And if you'd like to jump in, we can have a conversation. EBOMD Huddle Hotline number 573-334-1220. 573-334-1220, the Huddle Hotline. Powered by EBOMD. Michael Rennick.
Yes, sir. How are you?
In the house.
Yeah, you know,
this is a one-day work week for you? What?
It was, I take the All-Star break, just like MLB. So, since we're getting back into action tonight, then here I am.
That's an all-time line right there. I take the All-Star break. All right. Speaking of the All-Star break.
Speaking of it.
Did you watch the All-Star game, or did you catch any glimpses? Post highlights?
I watched quite a bit of it, actually. I didn't get to see a lot of the Home Run Derby, which I normally like to watch. And I know this is kind of, this was days ago, obviously. But there's not a lot been going on in sports.
No.
Unless you're into golf, which many are with the Open starting. But anyway,
Scotty Scheffler shot off a shot off the lead entering round two.
Round two, yeah. Very nice. Yeah. No, I watched the semis, I believe, of the Home Run Derby. And then I didn't see the championship. Watched most of the first half of the All-Star game.
Okay.
And frankly, I thought, NL's got it, so I'm going to move on to something else.
So did everybody else.
Yeah, and then I saw the swing off.
So you did see the swing off?
On replay.
Okay.
Yeah, on replay. But
I have to admit, when they first announced they were going to swing off, and if you were watching pregame, and I know a lot of people, they don't care about the pregame show. Pregame shows can give you some information. Basically, I mean, you and I are in programming. Pregame, postgame, those are commercial opportunities is what they are.
Sure.
It's like you turn on to a Cardinal pregame, they'll talk for 93 seconds, and then it's a 3-minute commercial break. They'll come back for 49 seconds, and then it's a 3-minute.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, but you can get some good info, and they just happen to drop. Okay, I think this is year 7 for the, if it ends in a tie, home run swing. Who knew it'd been around that long?
No idea.
Nobody knew, and so finally, you get the first word from Joe Davis in the 9th inning. Oh, by the way, if this game ends in a tie, we are going, I think he said swing off, or he said we've got a tiebreaker. Anyway, he kind of teased it and then let everybody know just exactly what was going on. Because I think, and come on, man. I mean, I follow baseball. I had no idea. But they did mention in the pregame show about the swing off.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, when it first came out, I was like, what are we doing? And I'm not trying to be Mr. Purist. I'm old school. That's fine if you're old school and purist and everything. I mean, I think we need an exact definition of what all that means. But I was like, I don't know about this. And then once it started happening, and then you saw Schwarber. But the thing that really got me headed in the right direction, all of the players, none of them were in the dugout.
Right.
They were on the field, in front of the railing. They were into the players loved it. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. And the fans were going crazy. I mean, it was first time ever it's been done. So it was exciting. I love the ball strike challenges. It was like the first one. It was almost, they were almost shy about it. Everybody's laughing. Even the umpire, I think, was laughing a little bit, He
was laughing until they got overruled.
Yeah. But I thought, to me, there's no question. The Major League All-Star game is the best All-Star game out there because, I mean, it's real. I mean, there's no playing 50% when you're out there playing
There is
baseball.
nothing equivalent in the other All-Star games to a pitcher out there pumping 102.
Nothing. Yeah.
What else goes to 102 in the various other sports? Not a chance.
Nothing at all. Especially, nothing at all. I mean, it'd be a complete. Anything else would be, just a mockery of the game. I mean, because if you can't pump at 102,
you mean flag football?
If you can't pump at 102, then you may as well just toss an underhand, because I mean it's either one or the other.
If you want that, we had that, on Sunday. It was the Celebrity Softball Challenge.
Right.
I watched a little bit of that.
Yeah. Who got hit in the hand that night?
It was Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah, Suarez. Yeah. So it's not.
And then he's in. He doesn't leave the game. You're thinking, oh, he's out. He doesn't leave the game. Then he makes that really good play in the ninth inning to get the first out. And, if he doesn't make that play and the runner reaches base, I mean, they could have taken a 7-6 lead. We would have never even seen a shootout.
Yeah.
Or a swing off.
No, I mean, I'm a little biased towards baseball, and that's okay. But again, if you just look at all of the different all-star situations out there, I mean, baseball's the best,
But I think the NHL is a close second with what they did this past year. And we had Canada, U.S. I mean, people were fired up for that.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but you're not talking about the 3-on-3, that whole deal. I mean, they've done the 3-on-3 All-Star bit before.
What did they call it? The challenge?
The Four Nations.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, that was pretty cool.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely unbelievable. Now, that won't happen, I don't think, again. I think is Olympics next, potentially. I don't know if that'll happen every year because there's some other things that may, fall in place there.
But as quickly as they can do that again, you got to think they're going to do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right about that. I mean, that's, one of the Kachucks, I think, was hurt for the rest of the year because of that, that.
Matthew Tkachuk, he was out for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, he came back and, helped them win the cup.
Right. Yeah. So, anyway, got to catch some of it and ready for some Cardinal baseball tonight.
So the ABS Challenge, and I played the highlight of the first one. Rusty and I were on the day after the All-Star game and played it, and just so happens that they had Tarek Skubal mic'd up and they had Cal Raleigh mic'd up.
Yep.
So you had the battery mic'd up. And that's who did the first ABS Challenge,
right?
And every time Raleigh's trying to talk, he's got the mask on.
Yeah.
What? Huh? And so I timed it. In fact, I rewound it a couple of times. I've got Fubo. It allows you to rewind.
Yep.
When you're watching live TV. And so I timed it from the time. Okay, Raleigh taps his helmet and says he wants the challenge. And so the umpire comes out in front of home plate. From the time the umpire announced challenge, which that tells, hey, whoever's running the video replay here, get it up on the screen. I timed it twice. It was 13 seconds until the crowd started cheering because the umpire got overruled. And then the 3 challenges after that, it was right about 10 seconds. That's it. 10 seconds. I mean, that
easy.
That is a batter stepping out and adjusting his protective cup and getting back in the box.
Yeah, it shouldn't take it. It's not taking not taking long at all. I mean, it's super easy.
But old school purists are like, no, we have enough delays. You've got the technology. You can see if you don't think that a ball strike call or calls can majorly affect a game and potentially the outcome of a baseball game, I don't agree with you. I think it can.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you got a shot to get it right,
yeah.
Why not? And so 3 of the 4 were successful. The one that was not was a strike called on the outside corner and they challenged it, and it just barely nipped the outside corner. So the umpire was right.
I'll be curious to see where, because I think the first two that I saw, they were balls down in the zone.
Yeah.
Is what got challenged, and he was wrong on both of them.
Yep.
The umpire was.
His name's Dan Iasonia, was the home plate umpire.
Okay. I'd be curious to see, and I know they're not going to implement this. Are they implementing it next season? They're not, are they?
That's the word on the street.
Okay. Well, once it gets implemented,
everybody that follows baseball closely and covers it for a living says it's going to be here next year.
Okay. I would like to. It'd be interesting to see, like, and I know it'll differ for every umpire, but which part of the zone is most often missed?
They've already got these
I can see where that pitch down is probably tough.
They've got detailed scouting reports on all the umpires. You can get a scouting, and then other people who've just been around the game a long time, hitting coaches, pitching coaches, know a tendency of a particular umpire. Hey, he will give you that inside corner, Mm-hmm. I don't want somebody to give me this or give me that. Was it a strike or was it a ball? Because the thing that used to drive Jess Bolin up the wall was when an umpire says, he's talking about, okay, now my strike zone is, what? Your strike zone? What are you talking about? Let me get the rule book for you. That's the strike zone right there.
Yeah.
But he has heard umpires tell him, well, now my strike zone, I need your guy to be. No. And so they're going to kind of hold you to that. And Rob Manfred did an interview day of the game on the Pat McAfee show. McAfee, the only ESPN live show that even mentioned baseball. They didn't on First Take or Get Up. They're top 10 quarterbacks, baby.
Yeah.
So he had Rob Manfred on. He asked him some tough questions, including calling it a piece of metal, the World Series trophy, which he's walked back and apologized for. But Rob Manfred said, okay, a few years ago when we started experimenting with, the technology and everything, it was a plus or minus of 2 inches. Okay, we had a margin of error of 2 inches. He said now it is 1/100th of an inch.
Yeah. Do you think... the first person I forever it's coming to my mind as we're talking about this is Greg Maddux. How would Greg Maddux be able to? Would he be able to dominate?
Or Tom Glavine?
Tom Glavine,
both of them.
Maybe even John Smoltz. Now I know he threw harder, but you think about the pitchers that we put on the Mount Rushmore of being great. Like, what's going to happen to that type of pitcher? To me, it's going to. You have to be able to throw gas now. You're not going to be able to maybe have the movement that Greg Maddux had, where and to your point, kind of like, well, my strike zone, and basically, the catcher would set up. And any 2 inches outside of the out of the plate, he hits the glove. It's a strike. I mean, I'm just curious to see
if you went
what'll
back
happen.
And charted some of those strike zones, Glavine and Maddux used to drive managers and opposing hitters nuts.
Yeah,
and you could see it on TV. That was even before they did the box, and you're like, what? How is that a freaking strike?
Yeah,
and I've always been a Maddux guy.
Oh, same way.
Cy Young winner in a Cubs uniform prior to going to Atlanta.
I just always thought he was a great pitcher.
So just think about games like, and it all turned full circle for the Braves. They say baseball will even itself out. Karma is a biatch. It's tough. It's tough. Karma. Game 5, 97 NLCS. Eric Gregg, home plate umpire. Levon Hernandez on the mound. Go Google it. Look at the strike zone. Look at the strike 3 call to Fred McGriff. These pitches are not only 3 inches outside. Some of them are like 5 inches off the plate.
Yeah.
And Gregg just got swept, the late Eric Gregg.
Right.
Got swept up into it, and he's posing, and he's punching. And I mean, Game 5, 97 NLCS, go watch that strike zone. I mean, there would have been 12 pitches overruled in that freaking game.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's all over. And I just wonder, so what type of pitcher does that develop in this modern baseball day and age?
It's already been trending toward power guys.
It's going to squeeze out the light throwing, control guy because
why do you hate Kyle Hendricks?
He's a Cub.
Was a Cub.
Yeah. Well, and he dominates the Cardinals. That's another thing. But anyway, I think it's kind of fun though. I mean, I think it's some of the technology that's worth embracing, and
the guy whose show follows this one, Clinton Yates with Clinton and Friends, he is prepared to die on the hill of no, just because there's technology, once human element in the game. There's
plenty of human element.
There's still human element in the game.
Yeah.
There just is. I mean, things like, let me ask you this. Do we have the technology to check a check swing? They don't check it.
Do we? Yes, we do.
They don't check it. That's human element still. Did he, I don't know, was there obstruction? I don't think they go and replay that.
No, there's also, it's not reviewable once the ball is past the bag, I believe, or there's some of those different pieces that aren't reviewable.
There's still plenty.
Once it's to the bag.
Still plenty of human element.
Yeah, absolutely.
Umpire calls a balk. No, he did not cross over left-hander. He did not cross over with his leg, at all. I mean, let's go look at the
or he didn't come
video.
Set or whatever it is.
We're not going to the video for that. That's still human element. There's plenty of human element still in baseball, but I'm telling you, man, there isn't a whole. Think about most ejections
in
Major League Baseball. Where do they come from?
Ball strikes.
Ball strikes.
Yep.
Because the replay stuff, out safe at first, fair foul, home run, the stuff that they're looking at on replay, for the most part, first of all, it's an automatic ejection. If you come out to argue after video replay has been ruled upon, auto ejection.
Right.
It's kind of an auto ejection, according to the rule book. You cannot argue balls and strikes. Umpires will give you a little latitude. Some guys will give you more, especially if you've ever talked to an umpire, especially if they think they might have been wrong. They will let you chew a little bit more. But at some point, the umpires will throw up their hands. Nothing else. That's it. You have reached the limit.
Yeah.
And if you push it past there, guys know when they're going to get thrown out of the game.
Marmol chewed that home plate ump pretty good. Was it the last game of the Braves series, or was it the
final game before?
The 10-hour day at the park.
That's it.
That was the other day he got tossed.
Yeah.
I think he wanted us to leave early. He was tired of all the rain delays, but
I think he wanted to win the freaking game. Yeah, is what I think.
He was hot. And you could tell exactly what he said to the umpire as he turned around to walk to the dugout into the clubhouse. But you don't see a lot of you're seeing less and less of that. And then when they bring in the challenge system, I mean, those are going to go away. I mean, there's not going to really be
right.
Because probably the same thing, I would imagine.
Because they all look on the big video board together. And we all find out if it was a ball or a strike.
And probably a same rule, like you argue after that, you're going to be gone. I mean, or what is there to argue at that point?
There will still be chirping because there are only two challenges.
You want to save your challenges,
and you still want to work an umpire from the dugout.
Sure.
And a catcher will still try to work an umpire. But it's normally, now, at one stretch, I think the ball strike challenge in the All-Star game was on a 1-1 count. You are going to see it on strike 3, ball 4. That's when you're going to see most of them.
Yeah.
Okay. You're talking about this game.
So he's had a couple that were close. Both have gone Braves hitters' ways.
It's hard to give that call sometimes on the slider at the top of the zone. He's frustrated. Rightfully so. He's been calling a good game back there.
just got tossed from this game.
Little nose to nose, and the 93 people that were in the ballpark
Heard every word of it.
Not only that, but they were applauding Marmon when he came out the gate.
Yeah,
when he got the gate.
yeah. He was hot, and if you were viewing that game, you could. It didn't take a genius to read lips to know what his parting words were to the home plate umpire, and the umpire took it well.
Yeah,
he just stood there and really just let him do his thing.
Some guys will not be. They won't take. We've seen CB Buckner, right? Laz Diaz. There's a reason those two guys were not calling the All-Star game, by the way, because they stink.
Yeah.
I mean, and trust me. Accounts on Twitter like Umpire Auditor, Umpire Scorecard, those that I call, and they see they're going to be keeping track of all the overrules and the whole thing. Anyway, I think people want to get it right, but Clinton Yates, he is anti-ABS, absolutely anti.
Yeah, I heard him talking about that,
and so he had after the All-Star game, he had Cameron Maben on, who's on MLB Network as an analyst. He may work for another entity as an analyst, but he's gotten into broadcasting since his career ended. And Clinton let it be known how he feels about ABS. And Maben, and this is after the All-Star game, and there were 4 calls challenged, 3 overturned. He went the complete opposite. I love it. I think it's great. Boom, boom, boom. And just, totally oppose Yates. And I couldn't wait for the first one to happen because I wanted to get on X, Twitter, and I just wanted to read the reaction of people. It's certainly a million miles from being scientific, but I mean, I think maybe I saw one that said, I don't like this. Most everybody was like, could we implement it tomorrow in the regular season? Everybody was like, yes, finally, you can challenge that stuff.
Well, I think that the ability to challenge is great. But I like kind of the quick spectacle of seeing it on the scoreboard. You're sometimes whenever they've gotten better at letting fans know what the challenge is about. I think in the beginning,
that was feedback from the fans and the media. We're like, well, we don't know
what's going on.
What is being said? What are they doing?
Yeah.
So they got the microphone like they do in the NFL.
Right. They've gotten much better at that. But it's just it's interactive. It's fun. It's like, let's watch the scoreboard and, boom, there it is. I'm curious.
Did you hear the fans? When the ball hit the bottom of the zone, they're like, ah!
Yeah. I like how they give like the distance, which with, it was out of the zone or whatever the case is.
This is Hawkeye technology, and you can Google it. They've been using it in tennis for a while. In fact, Rob Manfred was like, man, I'm watching this tennis match. I'm like, where are the lines people?
Yeah.
Like, where's the linesman for that? What? They've got Hawkeye technology. They go boom, boom, and that's it. There is no more arguing from players in or out. There's just not. I mean, John McEnroe would not have his famous rant.
No, he wouldn't.
You cannot be serious. Yeah. That ball is on the line. We would have never had that.
Yeah.
Because Hawkeye would have said, boom, next point.
I wonder if they can go back and do some of the, if they can Hawkeye some of the old argument calls and see where they really landed. I can't figure out yet, though. Obviously, it impacts, the entire team, but do the pitchers want it? Do the batters want it? Like, which,
I think
who wants it more?
I think there's
think?
I think there's a mixture. Honestly, I think hitters want it more.
Yeah. Because pitchers get calls.
If you look at guys who get thrown out of the game or have arguments and are very flamboyant in their disapproval of a called third strike, and you go back and look at the replay, I'm not saying it's always 100%, but almost always, most of the time, they show the replay, and you're like, man, the hitter was right. They freaking know the strike zone, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying umpires don't. I'm saying hitters do.
Yeah.
And there are times when guys get mad and, hey, sorry, man, I know you're frustrated, but that was a strike. Just was. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I would say that. I mean, Paul Skeens, pregame press conference, talking about his start, he was asked about ABS, and he is not a fan. That surprises me, but that's also a guy who probably doesn't get raked over the coals on a close pitch and not get the call. He'll just
Right.
he'll get mad and throw 1-on-1 on the next
Just pull
pitch.
it right by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that if we go back to what we talked about before, if you're a Greg Maddux type pitcher, it's probably the last thing that you want, is to have
Kyle Hendricks. Man.
yeah, but as we've kind of established, those guys they're a thing of the past to a certain degree.
So, July 31st, which is in 13 days, number 23 is going to be retired at Busch Stadium. Now, 23 is a famous, famous sports number, and I must point out that it is most famous in the city of Chicago.
Oh, yeah,
Because
who might that be?
there is a Hall of Famer that was phenomenal that wore number 23 in Chicago. His name is Ryan Sandberg. There's a guy named Michael Jordan, too, but there have been...
Oh, you're talking baseball.
Yeah, 23. No, I just wanted to... I knew you knew I was going Jordan. I didn't want anybody to forget Rhino. Ted Simmons going to have his number retired, so I think that's going to be really cool. No one will ever wear number 23 in a Cardinal jersey again. I'm glad that Ted Simmons is getting all this post-career love. Analytics, people who are anti-analytics. Analytics, one of the big reasons that Ted Simmons now is in the Hall of Fame. He's getting his number retired. All of those things, because when you go back down and some of these quote-unquote stat geeks went back and dove into the numbers, and they said, look at this. Compare that to other catchers. This guy should be a Hall of Famer. And he made it.
So that's the 31st. It's being retired.
That's it.
Yeah. Again, we talk about technology and the things that maybe people don't like about it. That's a great case of being able to utilize it to go back or the analytics, the numbers, to give a guy his due that maybe he didn't get. Obviously, I know he was regarded as a great player, in his time, but when you kind of maybe dig in a little bit more, you see really what he brought to the table.
Also, you would hear broadcasters that were associated with the Cardinals, media members associated with the Cardinals, would always talk about Ted Simmons. Al Roboski had been talking about Simmons forever and how he should be. And then at some point you have to say, okay, you're a fan. You're slanted towards St. Louis.
Right.
But when you really break down the numbers, they were absolutely right.
You mentioned...
just like Ken Boyer.
Yeah.
Ken Boyer should get another look. I mean, if Ron Santo made it, and Santo impacted the game as an ambassador, being a broadcaster and a beloved figure and everything. But if you break down numbers, Boyer and Santo awfully close, and Kenny Boyer, just kind of a forgotten dude.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I got to hear, I was part of some of that, what they call rain delay theater on Sunday. Al Roboski was, he's going to be putting on the red coat. That was, pretty interesting interview. And I know that may talk about him as that gets closer, that induction ceremony. But I didn't realize he really didn't play baseball in high school at all. He had
didn't.
He played early, early in the Pee Wee leagues or whatever the case is, and then he played football, and was kind of talked into it by a coach to kind of pick it back up his junior year of high school, I think. So he played in the last couple of years. But anyway, it was really, really nice interview with Al.
Okay, Cardinals get back at it tonight, it's a 6-game road trip. They will be in Arizona, and it's going to be Andre Palante versus Brandon Pfaadt. So these 3 games after the break, Palante, Gray, wait for it, Michaelis.
Miles Michaelis.
That's right.
And
that's Sunday.
Yeah. And I believe I see a projection of an Eric Fetty against Colorado.
At Coors Field. Perfect. That's where you want Fetty to. Oh, my God.
That'll be home run derby number 2.
The Rockies do not have a normal Rockies offense.
Right.
I mean, but I don't know. We're gonna have we're gonna have to take over-unders before Fetty toes the mound in Denver coming up Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Maybe this is all planned. Like, okay, we're gonna roll him out there against the Rockies, and if he gets pounded by them, he's done. Like, there's no coming back from it. We don't want him to get pounded because we obviously would like to see the Cardinals continue to vie for a playoff position, but don't know if they're going to do it with him in the rotation.
So, what I think is interesting is,
yeah, I do too.
Last year, am I hallucinating here? Last year, didn't they refer to the Ohio Valley Conference in football as the Big South OVC?
Believe so.
Now it is OVC Big South. And I could understand that. I don't know why it was. What do they got? 2 teams? 3 teams?
Maybe.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they lost that.
I think it's 2.
Bryant, who was in Rhode Island, SEMO had to go out there and play them, and it aggravated Coach Tuke because of how much money it was going to cost, and the fact Bryant wasn't returning the game because they're leaving.
Right.
And so I'm pretty sure, I'm going to have to go back and pull up the archives. I'm pretty sure last year it was called the Big South OVC. And I'm sure enough people said, whoa, whoa, whoa. The OVC is carrying this little marriage here. Why is it Big South OVC? So it's OVC Big South. Or maybe, I'm having a moment, a dyslexic moment here, but I thought it was referred to as the Big South OVC last year. Anyway, preseason polls came out. Mike, the Red Hawks are picked to finish 3rd. Now, remember, last year, we had a freakish 4-way tie for a 3-way tie for the championship. 4-way tie, sorry. 4-way tie, 4 went 6-2. SEMO, who lost their last 2 games, had the automatic bid. They had tiebreakers in their favor, and they're picked to finish 3rd. Now they got 2 first-place votes in this poll. Tennessee Tech, I'll be interested to see if they can back it up. Tennessee Tech, 5 first-place votes. They led the way with 57 points, 1 more than UT Martin. Now, I know they can back it up, 56. SEMO, 53. So that was very close, 57, 56, 53. Tech, 5 first-place votes. Martin and SEMO, 2 first-place votes apiece. And SEMO has a lot of roster turnover, including at the most important position. Paxton Laurent is out, and Jax Leatherwood, the new quarterback, and
he's a big guy,
6'8". I think that's one of the things that fascinates you is just the sheer size of Leatherwood, because you don't see quarterbacks like that. Now, I was going to look at it before the show started, but do you remember Mark McGuire has a brother? His name is Dan McGuire.
Okay.
And he played in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks. And hold on a second, I got it. Yeah, 6'8", 240 pounds. Dan McGuire. He played from 91 to 94 with the Seahawks, 95 with the Dolphins, and then his career was over. In college, he played at Iowa and San Diego State. But Dan McGuire...
Is he a quarterback?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
There aren't many guys 6'8" playing quarterback, and the first guy that came to mind for me was Dan McGuire. And I thought, I'm almost positive he was 6'8". And I went back and I just pulled up his page here, and he was 6'8". Well, probably still is 6'8".
I ran into Coach Tuke at the I think it was Chili Day, earlier in the year, and he had.
Did he recognize you?
he had Leatherwood with him, and he walks in, and I'm walking out, and we say hi, and he's like, hey, this is our new punter, and he's like, your new punter, and he kind of just gave his smirk and like, no, the big QB everybody's talking about, and he is big, he's very tall.
We just got this note. Apparently, they announced the name change to OVC Big South a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So I did not have an Alzheimer's moment there. It was the Big South OVC.
You were on it. No, I think though, they were picked to finish third last year. I think SEMO was as well.
Yeah,
and I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think Tuke likes that number one spot. I think he kind of likes to be down a little bit and say, okay, we're gonna,
and
that's what you think of us. We're gonna battle,
And I don't know if Coach Tuke. We got to ask him at a coach's show. I know they try to use all kinds of things as motivation, finding motivation for players. Would you use that as motivation that, okay, they think you're going to finish here? Because I know some coaches do. I just don't know that Coach
I don't think he would.
He doesn't seem like that. He would, they don't think much of you, number 3.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't see that being...
Eli Drinkwitz would.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just different. Everybody's different guys.
He does a great job at getting all that, the stuff you can't control.
Because he knows it's bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. See, not
it's
even
a
that.
Joke. He doesn't believe in luck. He doesn't believe in jinx. None of that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But it's year 12.
It's amazing.
It's 3 OVC championships, and it is 4 playoff appearances. And those playoff appearances have come in the last 7 years. Took them a while to get a little traction in Cape Girardeau, and boom, they're rolling now and are on the precipice. We feel like 2 seasons out of the new press box and the new suites and the whole new addition. Brady Barkey was on this show and said he thinks it's going to be done by then. So it is one thing that I do not like is they don't vote on preseason all conference anymore.
Is it like a watch list or something?
I can't tell you how little league that is for the Ohio Valley Conference. The big boy conferences, you vote on your poll and you vote on your all-conference selections. Now, they vote on offensive, defensive player of the year, but they don't vote on all-conference anymore. I don't know why, but what they do is they release 5 players to watch from each team. You know how they get those names? From the coach and the sports information directors.
Right, yeah.
Hey, give us a list of 5 guys that will be your players to watch. What?
Yeah.
We're not voting on all conference? They do in postseason. I remember one year.
Because you've watched them.
Yeah, it's way back when B.J. Smith used to be the women's basketball coach, right? She had this player, and one of the players they got in trouble for, but she was, I believe, player of the year, Tatiana Conceso, right? So all year, her first year, all year long, almost every week, she would win the OVC Newcomer of the Week award, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get to the postseason awards ceremony, guess what?
Nothing.
They don't have an OVC Newcomer of the Year award.
Oh.
Then why are you giving out the OVC Newcomer of the Week award all year? There's a Freshman of the Year. There's a Player of the
Everything else but that.
What are we doing? Anyway, so I don't know. The OVC's made some calls over the years. I mean, they used to, in baseball, vote at the end of the year, first team, second team, honorable mention, like a lot of conferences do. And then 1 year, nope, we're doing away with the honorable mention. It doesn't cost you anything to give another accolade to a student athlete, right?
You wouldn't think.
Why would you take away honorable mention? Why? I don't get it. Why are you not voting like a big boy conference on preseason stuff? I don't know, and now it's players to watch, which is fine.
But do you think, is that a coach's thing, though? Do you think the coaches have said, or the schools? I mean, is that a unilateral decision by the OVC, or do they get input from the coaches and staff that say, what, let's just do away with this part of it?
They usually get input from athletic directors. Yeah, I would think that coaches would have a say. They usually have a say in a lot of stuff. They don't usually have the final say. I don't know. Can you imagine, though, SEC not voting on preseason all-conference?
No.
I realize the OVC is not the SEC, but I'm just saying. All right, so that's fine. And SEMO picked to finish third. Now, they open up with a money game. Oh, by the way, it's in 43 days. At Arkansas State, that is a Saturday night game. They've done a bunch of renovations. They were doing the renovations at that stadium the last time SEMO played there. They don't play Arkansas State very often in football. Go look it up.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I remember before they played Arkansas State just a few years ago, the last time they played Arkansas State, Ron Hines was broadcasting with me. And we were up in their press box, and we had all of these green grasshoppers were all over the front of our window that night. They play Arkansas State in a lot of sports.
Right.
Football has not been one of them, but they will play August 30th. Then it's the home opener against North Alabama. Then it is North Dakota State at the Fargo Dome.
That's going to be a big boy game right there. Now Arkansas State. I know that'll be a good challenge for SEMO. Seems like they always, maybe it's not happened in the last couple of years, but Arkansas State seems to always kind of be bowl eligible. They get to is it a 6-game threshold? I think they get to that. They're in one of those first bowls that kind of happens early in the bowl season. But I'm not real familiar with how well they've been the past couple of seasons. They have been.
They've been very good.
Red Wolves, is that right?
They're the Red Wolves.
Almost the exact same logo.
They
print-wise with SEMO.
They did it a couple of years after SEMO changed its name. But if you remember back in the day, when Ken Dobbins was the president, the potential names were voted on. And Red Wolves was one of the finalists, and Red Hawks was one of the finalists. So they let the students vote. What do you think they voted for?
Red Wolves.
Red Wolves. And then the quote from Dobbins was he was driving down Broadway, and he noticed two, what he said, Red Hawks nesting. And that's when it hit him. They should be the Red Hawks.
I did not know that.
He unilaterally overruled the vote.
The vote, yeah.
That does not shock anybody about that era in SEMO athletics or in just SEMO itself. And I will say this. I heard one word on the street rumor that, okay, when you talk about a dog, female dogs can be referred to with a letter that starts with a B.
A slanderous way.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he did not want any type of slander for the female programs. They're the red biatches.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's true, but yeah. I heard that at the time. But he's the one that had the final call on the name change, and there was a ton of blowback at the beginning. Remember that? Especially the old school Indian.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are still people. I mean, that was 2005. Home basketball game against Austin Peay when it officially became Red Hawks from Indians. 2005. It is 20 years. There are still people that are mad, and I refuse to call it. They are the Indians.
I know.
I don't know if they die on the Otakian Hill.
I know some of those
too.
people.
Yeah.
You do
They
too.
don't like it.
Yeah.
I understand why they did it, but it angered people about the political correctness. You bend the knee to the NCAA, the whole thing. Well,
Yeah.
Arkansas State was feeling the heat, and they went with Red Wolves a few years later. But just telling you, the vote from the students back then was Red Wolves.
Well, I think they've done well with Rowdy the Red Hawk.
So if you don't follow Arkansas State football, you've heard of Hugh Freeze, the college football coach, right?
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
Okay, Freeze, who had tremendous success when he was at Auburn. Gus Malzahn, tremendous success in the SEC.
Yep.
Those guys went and won at Arkansas State and immediately jumped to the big jobs. They've had multiple coaches like that. They've been good in football, and they've just upgraded their facilities. They're a good Sun Belt team. They are.
Oh, I knew that they traditionally had been, because they get, like I said, get bowl eligible. It seems like every year. Just haven't followed them much the last couple of seasons.
So it's 6 home games this year for SEMO.
Yeah, I've heard that could become a trend.
Sure, hope so.
Potentially with scheduling and some of those sort of things as they may happen in the years to come.
And the final game of the regular season at home, at Houck, 1 o'clock kickoff, November 22nd. Brawl for the game ball. The revenge game against Lindenwood. I still don't know how Lindenwood beat SEMO last year. In the rain, I couldn't believe. Tip of the hat to Lindenwood. They're getting better in all the sports. But Lindenwood, by the way, picked 4th, right behind SEMO. Now, there's a wide margin for the point totals. Like SEMO had 53, picked 3rd. Lindenwood 4th, 39. There's a 14-point separation.
And
there.
SEMO had the second most first-place votes, right?
Yeah.
Over UT. They had more than UT Martin.
They had the same amount as UT Martin.
Same amount as UT Martin. Okay.
All right. Cardinals getting set to go. Have you seen the new Superman movie?
No.
All right. Mike Francesa, the legendary sports talk show host, has seen it. His review will make you laugh out loud. Sports Huddle. It's the Sports Huddle from the Yuengling Sports Huddle Studios. Yuengling, the iconic American lager, America's oldest brewery. Yuengling. Eric Shawn, lead singer of the Mike Reddick Band, back from his big vacation. And so you were saying...
Can I correct the record?
Yeah.
It was not vacation.
Okay. All right.
All-Star break.
That's right. So let me ask you this. I know back in the day when you and I were, before we had an ownership transfer and everything, the old rules on vacation, it was 4 weeks, if you're grandfathered in. And is it still that way? I mean, if you're grandfathered in, I know you and I still get our 4 weeks. But nowadays, has that changed since the ownership transfer? I know it.
Yeah, no vacations anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no vacations.
Right. It's a good thing you and I are grandfathers.
That's right. Yeah.
And how many sick days is it? It's 5 or
35 or something. Like that.
Okay, all right. So, we're only midway through the year. I'm concerned that we don't want you to hit the goal line early. And then holiday season, we got nothing.
Oh, that's right.
You got nothing. So Mike Francesa, I was asking you, they've done a 30 for 30, and if you're outside of New York, there's a good chance that you may not be as familiar with Mike Francesa as he's not exactly, he was never a national talk show host, but he did appear on CBS TV from time to time. He's done some national stuff in TV, but most famously known for Mike and the Mad Dog, where he teamed up with Christopher Mad Dog Russo, who is now on Sirius XM Radio, and you see him on First Take on Wednesdays with Stephen A. Smith, Molly Kieran. So Mike Francesa, after all the years at WFAN, finally retired from the radio day-to-day, but he still he's got a podcast. Now, it's very popular. Well, Francesa went to see Superman, and he's like me because I grew up, and I don't even know if you remember this, but when I was a kid, I grew up loving the old television show, The Adventures of Superman with George Reeve. Okay?
Yep.
And it was black and white. There were 6 seasons of The Adventures of Superman, and then later in the show, the later season, I don't know if it was multiple seasons, they went from black and white to color. It was like Wizard of Oz when, Dorothy's house lands
in Oz.
Yeah. And she walks out, and everything turns to color. So that show actually went from black and white to color. So I grew up watching the old Adventures of Superman, loving it. Well, Francesa did too. So that's how you're introduced to Superman, or if you were through the comics when you were a kid, this generation, maybe you don't even remember this 1978 movie Superman with Christopher Reeves. It was George Reeve who played Superman in the old television show. It was Christopher Reeves, the late Christopher Reeves, who, catapulted Superman, and those were very successful movies. Then you've got Man of Steel. We've had, multiple different Supermans. And so this is another version of Superman, but Superman is a cash cow, I got to think, at the box office. Just go back and look. And so you've got to understand, to me, Francesa went into watching this movie probably the same way, if I go watch it, that I would, because I grew up on the old television show Superman. I just think you'll find this very funny, maybe informational. It may change your mind or encourage you to go watch the movie.
What I'm getting into is this stunk. As for someone who's a old-time TV show Superman guy trying to get entertained for a couple hours and wants to see Superman, this movie was pure torture to sit through. Torture. I mean, I'll tell you this. If my name was on the credits, I'd hide it. That's how bad it was. This was 2 hours of this new Superman. It was he wasn't Christopher Reeve, but he was okay Superman. 2 hours of him getting the crap beat out of him. Who wants to see Superman get beat up for 2 hours? He's getting beat up by everybody. Plus, you have other superheroes in the movie. I didn't go there to see some guy named Mr. Terrific. I didn't go there to see the Green Lantern or some lady named Hawk something or other. I don't even know who she was. Okay, these other superheroes who he calls on. Who are these other superheroes? This is a Superman movie. You want to see Superman flirt with Lois Lane, keep his disguise, and battle crime. That's what you want to see. And good triumph over evil. That's Superman. A little tongue-in-cheek, a little cartoonish, a little campy. Okay, this was unmitigated garbage. First of all, early on, there's robots. I don't want robots. Okay, I don't want robots taking care of Superman. I don't. Then there's a super dog. Who came up with a super dog? I mean, we all like dogs, okay? And I didn't like the dog getting beat on in the movie. It bothered me. But, hey, who came up with a dog with a cape? When did that arrive? I watched Superman for years on television. I never saw a dog with a cape. I never saw robots. And in this movie, Superman's in trouble. Lex Luthor's getting the best of him. Everybody in the movie is beating the heck out of him. I thought Jimmy Olsen was going to take a shot at him. I thought Lois Lane was going to throw him out a window. I mean, he got beat up by everybody. He got the absolute bejesus. If you want to go see Superman and get beat up for 2 hours, he got beat up for 2 hours. This is Superman. And this had nothing to do with Superman. It had to do with superheroes. It had to do with a war in the Middle East. It had to do with a crazy Lex Luthor. And in the end, Lois Lane is trying to save him by going into the inner earth at a different layer of being with Mr. Terrific, whoever the hell he is. And she is driving a spaceship off the Daily Planet. Now, wait a second. Lois Lane's supposed to be falling off a building and being caught by Superman. This is not made for Lois Lane to be driving a spaceship to save Superman.
All right, I think you get the gist. It goes on for about 4 more minutes, but I wanted to just give you a little taste. Is it going to influence you in watching Superman? Had you made any plans? Are your kids interested in watching Superman? Big summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's done well. The first week, I think it was like 122 million, nationally here at the box office. Now we could see a drop off after reviews like that. People would say, well, maybe I'll backpedal a little bit on Superman. But you got the blockbusters. There was Mission Impossible. There was Don, Sean, and I went to see Jurassic World. Had a great time. You suspend belief systems sometimes when you're watching some of these movies. You're just there to be entertained. Summer blockbuster. I love going to the movies in the summertime.
I'm waiting for How to Train Your Dragon.
It just went to digital.
Just went out right on digital, right?
Yeah. So you can rent it now.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't see that see Superman regardless, but
I grew up big Superman fan, so
I haven't watched any of the stuff since the original.
I had planned on going to see it, but I'm not so sure now. I don't want to see Superman get beat up. Nobody could beat up Superman if he's weakened by kryptonite. Maybe he was weakened by kryptonite. I don't know, but.
I like his robots comment. First thing I thought of is he probably doesn't like the ABS system in Major League Baseball. Robots.
Lois Lane flying a spaceship angered him.
Yeah,
and dog with a cape.
And the dog with the cape.
That's classic. All right, Cardinals tonight, and it's a late start time, 8:40. Andre Palante, Brandon Pfaadt, and Caitlin Clark out for the WNBA All-Star Game. That's going to affect the ratings. Did you see any of the ESPYs? I
did not. No.
I mean, when you're on vacation like you were, it doesn't seem like you'd be able to. That's not. You don't have time to fit that into the agenda.
Tough.
Yeah, I understand.
Yep. No, didn't see it.
All right. What's on? Kyle Gibson retired after 13 seasons.
Okay.
In the major leagues, it was yesterday. 13 seasons, 112 wins. Former first-round pick, Mizzou guy.
Right.
I mean, he had a solid career, but as we saw in a Cardinal uniform last year, he was at the end.
So, congratulations. You made it to the end.
It was a good. I mean, he had a solid career, and hopefully took care of his money, and he'll be taking care of his family, maybe future generations, with what he was able to do playing the game of baseball. Big plans this weekend?
We're gonna. My daughter Cecilia turns 9 today.
Wow!
I know. So we're gonna have a little birthday party action for her, and I don't know. Just
my youngest daughter Josie is driving a vehicle. I know.
Yeah,
I know. Just turned 17.
Man,
it's unbelievable.
Crazy. Yeah. So
okay.
we got that going on, and then everything else that comes along.
All right, I've got to go right now. Go pick up the lovely and talented Dawn Sean. Squirrels play at 12:45, Midwest Plains Regional, and they did not get any rain in Charleston last night, so that's good news. Yeah, they had big crowds there yesterday, expecting bigger crowds. The team that won the Babe Ruth State Championship, GSR Elite, the Revelers, that's who the Squirrels play. So
tough team
on paper. They're playing the best team.
Yeah,
and I have been told that the Revelers already have gotten an invite to the World Series. I don't know how that works. So whoever finishes second at the Midwest Plains Regional is the one that's going to get the automatic berth to the World Series. I don't know how the Revelers work that out, but they did. And so it looks like Missouri, well, if Colorado wins. So if you're the Squirrels, you got a shot, even if you don't win it all. So that's their goal. Get to the World Series, see what they can do. 12:45. Catfish tonight. They won last night in a game that was shortened to 7 innings because of lightning. Mess around with that stuff. Rusty Hendricks will have the 6:35 broadcast here on SEMO ESPN.
Actually, tonight it'll be Matt Brucker because Rusty's going to be part of SEMO Ball Awards.
That's right, SEMO Ball Awards.
Yeah, that's tonight as well.
Big Shot Bruck.
Yeah,
is going to be behind the mic.
That's
All right.
Yeah, and again, the SEMO Ball Awards tonight over at LaCroix Church. You mentioned the ESPYs. I mean, you've hosted those awards, several times in the past. They do a great job.
No, it's terrific
with that award show.
Absolutely terrific.
It's the ESPYs for the high school athletes, which is awesome.
So Minner, we had him on yesterday, lost track of which day of the week the SEMO Ball Awards. He thought it was Saturday.
Okay.
So the Squirrels were supposed to play at 6:15 tonight. Then it was pointed out, oh, wait a minute, SEMO Ball Award. No, we can't do that. So they moved it to 12:45. He's cognizant about getting it. He's got guys who are going to be at the SEMO Ball Awards.
Right.
And so, that's why they changed the start time. But SEMO Ball Awards, very big. And, I mean, we've had them on multiple times. We unveil all of the nominees here. Rusty's got the red carpet radio show.
It'll all start around 6 or so, right up into the start of Catfish.
Yeah.
And that's open to the public. I mean, if you want to just see a first class, amateur high school sports show, award show, it's fantastic.
Come on down.
Yeah.
All right. Mike, enjoy the weekend,
See
and we'll reconvene on Monday if you're not on vacation.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll let you know.
All-Star break is over for Rennick. Hello to the lovely and talented Dawn Shawn. She'll be involved with Squirrels baseball today. Stay tuned. Clinton and friends coming up. Have a great weekend, everybody.